Welcome in to week 3 of the Coyote Net Report. I'm here with Coach Williamson. And Coach Williamson, obviously a tough weekend in Arkansas. One word that probably comes to mind is probably just a little disappointed.
I mean, yeah, I think the team as a whole feels that way right now. You know, I think we went down there feeling pretty confident in where we were at, but didn't quite play with that confidence that I think we had earned at that point. So, you know, give it to Central Arkansas, though, and Little Rock. They're good teams. They're good programs, and I think they took us out of the things that we wanted to do, and we just didn't respond well in those moments. But, you know, I think with disappointment comes a lot of learning, and I do think our team is very determined this week to make some of those changes that need to happen in order to start having that success that we feel like we should be having going forward.
They obviously just presented different challenges like every team does. What was something, I mean, you come back and you try to look at some of the positives from those matches and work on some of the things you need to work on?
You know, I think some of the challenges that happened for us anyway, I think, you know, we lost kind of our cohesiveness as a team a little bit when they pushed us. Don't know the exact answer of why that happened, but we backed off a little bit. So, you know, it's something that going into this week, we've got to, we have to play as a team and make sure that everything we're doing is, you know, getting us towards that ultimate goal. And at the same time, I think we lost our discipline at times. And I think with that, with the lack of discipline and then, you know, the team cohesiveness not being there, it was really hard to get ourselves out of those ruts. And, you know, we still had games where we had opportunities, we had chances, and unfortunately down the stretch, we just weren't able to capitalize on those. But obviously when you don't have that discipline and then the cohesiveness does get lost, it's tough to pull through in those moments.
It seems like when you needed a key point or needed it to get that momentum back, it just wasn't quite there this weekend.
You know, I think we had moments where we did. Unfortunately, after we did go on a run, we allowed them to go on their own run. So it kind of felt like every time we got to a place where we felt like we were making strides, we kind of got pushed back again. So, I mean, good teams are going to do that to you. And I think with our team, it was a lesson that needed to be learned. And, you know, I think at this point in time in the season, I'm glad it's happening now and not, you know, 3 weeks from now. So it's something that we can really address this week at practice and make sure that we continue to make the strides that we need to and make some of those changes, you know. And I think some of it has to do with being gritty too. I mean, you've got to find ways to score points. You got to find ways to keep the ball off the floor in those moments. And we just didn't do that at a high rate this weekend. Heading
into the final non-conference weekend of the season, a trip to California, UC Santa Barbara on Friday, followed by Montana and Bakersfield, the host, on Saturday. What's something, I mean, just a last chance before Summit League play starts?
Yeah, I mean, I think our preseason, we feel like, has the ability to set us up really well for conference. You know, we're playing some good teams. We obviously have already, and that's no different this weekend. So we feel like we have an opportunity to, like I said, make some of those changes that we need to, play against some competition that's going to challenge us and work through some of those struggles. And really, I mean, the best teams at the end of every year are the ones that can handle adversity at a really high level. So, you know, I would assume that we will be pushed this weekend, and with that, you know, I think we're hoping to be able to work through that a little bit better than what we did this past weekend. So, you know, like I said, I think that disappointment was there, and I think going into this weekend, you know, right now we're really trying to take it one day at a time and really focus on practice today, but we've got changes to make, and our team knows that. And I think that's one of the best things about this team, though, is, you know, even though we saw some positives happen, you know, they are very aware of the fact that there are changes that need to be made, and I don't think it has to come from us, it's coming from them. So, you know, we're looking forward to competing at a really high level, you know, obviously playing teams that we haven't played, you know, with Santa Barbara and Bakersfield being somebody I don't think we've actually ever played, at least not while I've been here, and then Montana, we haven't played them in a while. So different competition, people that are going to challenge us in different ways, but we're just looking forward to being able to get out there and do some different things as a team.
Schedule-wise, only one match on Friday, 2 on Saturday this week, which is different than what you had done the first 3 weeks in non-conference. Is that different, or just kind of you got to take it as it is?
Actually, I mean, a lot of times the norm is to have 1 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. So the fact that our first 3 were the opposite was interesting, was different for us. I like it that way. I like that we have to play different ways now too, but I don't think it's anything that we're going to overthink. It's just, you know, that first day we get to focus on the one opponent, and you know, obviously the second day is the day that we're focusing on 2 different opponents. So I don't think it changes our mindset any. I guess maybe the one one thing for us right now. It might be helpful for us to really just have to focus on the one on Friday and hopefully take that at a really high level and then be able to shift our focus. So, regardless, we play 3 matches, and each one is the most important at that time. We've got to continue to make sure that we can live in the moment, not in the past, or look towards the future, and just take it play by play. What's
going to be the one key thing that you're looking for on the court to gain that momentum back that you guys had heading into Arkansas?
I think confidence has a lot to do with it. And, when teams push you, I think it can be hard to keep that confidence. But the teams and the individuals that have the most success are usually the ones that can stay at a confident level through adversity. As soon as you start to doubt yourself, I think it's really hard to get back into a rhythm. And we had different people on our team that doubted ourselves in different ways. So, I think across the board, we've got a couple positions that we got to figure out, that are up for grabs right now. And I would hope that our team really competes hard for that. And if that's the case, that's happening, I think we're going to be better at the end of this week. So, I think flow is a portion of it. We got to get back to playing our defense. We got to make sure that we don't let someone else dictate the pace of the game. But in the end, I think we have to really rely on taking care of our side of the ball and not letting other people dictate things. So, a couple thoughts for us going into it, but just that competition aspect is going to be huge.
Something that happened on campus over the weekend was the Hall of Fame, and for the volleyball purposes, the first ever volleyball player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, Lindsay Soka Freeman, a 2004 graduate of USD, probably back when USD kind of turned the corner in volleyball to start starting having winning seasons rather than losing seasons. Just from your perspective as a current coach, what was that like, or what's the enthusiasm to have a volleyball player finally in the Hall of Fame?
It's something that I was very excited about when I heard. They told me, and of course I went to my calendar right away and looked, and unfortunately we were going to be out of town. But we're very excited for Lindsay, and I think what it does for the volleyball program going forward. I obviously never coached Lindsay, but I have heard a lot of good stories about her and have met her, and I think that it's a deserving honor, and I'm glad that she was the one that was able to achieve that, and now I hope it's kind of on the normal for us is we do have more people getting into that position, and everything that we have now is due in part to what people have gone through in the past through the program. So Lindsay and her team are a big part of the Coyote volleyball program that happened back then, but they also help shape the future and what it is now. So very excited for her. Again, wish I could have been there for it, because I do think it's a big part of our program going forward. But definitely something very exciting for her and Coyote volleyball moving forward.
We've been listening to the Coyote Net Report. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.